Woman in her 90s is killed in a hit and run. Tonight we're hearing from people who knew her.
Plus, the cause of this deadly high-rise fire has been released as questions are raised about fire safety in buildings like this.
We're throwing it back to the 60s. Remember, Chicago's biggest snowfall ever. Plus.
This story is one of my favorite stories of the day. Meet the Chicago teacher nominated for a Grammy. Yes, a Grammy, and hear from the students who really hope that he wins.
Also, the contenders for Chicago mayor square off as a new poll reveals just how tight the race is at the top.
But we begin tonight on this Thursday with an update on breaking news we have been following all day.
93-year-old woman killed in a hit and run happened in Chicago's Austin neighborhood. Our Trey Ward reports.
We spoke with neighbors and friends of that woman. They say that she did not live far from where she was struck and killed. In fact, they say that she was crossing the street to mail a letter when she was hit.
My heart is just so heavy. I was going to call her today. Oh my God.
Heartbreak in Austin as neighbors learn that one of their own, a 93-year-old woman, was struck and killed while crossing the street right outside of her home. This all unfolding just before 12:30 this afternoon. Police say the woman was crossing the street at Laramie and Gladys when someone driving a Porsche Cayenne drove around a stopped car into the bicycle lane before striking that woman. The driver kept going. Thelma Ramsey looking outside of her home to find a large police presence.
I saw the police was in the yellow tape, and I just didn't know who to call, and I started to call her before then to ask her what was going on.
But her friend, police say, was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital where she later died. Those who say they've known her for years now left heartbroken.
Oh, I just wished I could have came out to help her some way.
Investigators are still searching for that driver. If you have any information on that driver's whereabouts, you're asked to call police. Reporting outside of Mount Sinai Hospital, I'm Trey Ward, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Tonight we've learned smoking materials are to blame for this deadly high-rise apartment fire on the south side. Remember, one woman died in the fire. 9 people, including a firefighter, were hurt. Tonight, questions are being raised about fire safety in high-rise buildings. Eric Hong reports.
City officials tell us nearly half the units in the building, more than 130, have smoke, fire, or water damage. Residents in that part of the building had hoped to be allowed back in today to retrieve important items, but the city stepped in, saying it's not yet safe to do so.
Today, crews boarding up damaged areas as building residents recounted yesterday's terror.
Yeah, it was really frightening for me because I never saw the fire this big right in front of me, so it was really scary.
Today, the Office of Fire Investigation determined the cause of the fire in the 25-story building to be accidental, resulting from careless use of smoking materials that ignited combustibles in a bedroom. A smoke detector in the residence was not working at the time of the fire, said investigators. The wind-driven fire spread from the 15th to the 24th floor, outracing efforts by firefighters who had to haul equipment up by hand. Residents say individual units were not equipped with sprinklers.
Had there been a fire sprinkler system in place in that living unit, there would have been one sprinkler that would activate. It would control the fire. It may not completely extinguish it, but is going to control it.
After the deadly 2003 fire at the Cook County Administration Building, all commercial city high-rises were required to be equipped with sprinklers. But sprinklers were not mandated for residential towers like the Harper Square Cooperative that were built before 1975, in part because of the cost and feasibility of retrofitting older structures. Instead, those buildings were required to pass a so-called life safety evaluation and institute passive measures such as self-closing doors. But some say it's time for the City Council to re-examine the ordinance.
Are we doing justice for our residents? We've had fires since that was passed. We've had fires in buildings that have passed the life safety evaluation, and we still continue to have needless deaths.
It's unclear when residents in that affected part of the building will be allowed back in. The Red Cross is helping them obtain medications, ID, and other important items. In Kenwood, Eric Hong, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Just a heartbreaking story there, and some incredible stories of survival as we take a live look at the city here on this Thursday night we like to call Friday Eve. It's very calm. You can still see some of the snow covering some of the areas over here. We're hearing that more snow's coming?
It sounds like it, and perhaps a lot. Heisel Martinez joins us with the accurate
Rob, what did I tell you?
I know. So I'm walking by Larry, Maury,
look,
and Heisel in the
color
secret
behind her. That color.
The secret is cold. The secret weather center. I always pass through there.
Secret.
It's not really secret, right? And
We were just talking about the possibility of snow.
I know, and then she said, "Don't look, because then it'll come true." So I walked by fast, and I did not look.
The secret. I think Heisel needs to go back there and do a
tweak it,
right, and show people what the secret looks like.
Yeah, it's really just a mess back there.
Oh,
but not because of her, though. I mean, the range of snow, though, as she was looking at some models, is pretty extreme, right, Heisel?
Yeah, the system coming in Saturday throughout the day and then lasting through Saturday night. It could be an overachiever. It could happen. It could happen. Yeah, stay home, turn the fireplace on, and enjoy a nice meal inside of your house. Temperatures out there right now are in the teens and 20s out there. And now add on the little bit of a wind. We have about 15 miles per hour. That's making it feel cold outside. So if you're still going to be out and about, maybe running some errands, need to walk the dog one more time, here's what it feels like outside. 7 is what it feels like at O'Hare. Sugar Grove, it feels like 3 degrees. So feeling like the single digits out there right now. We have some flurries around. Those stick around here for the next maybe hour or two. And then after that, we just have cloudy skies overnight tonight. Tomorrow, we'll have those scattered snow showers again. And we could, again, see a coating to an inch as we go through the day tomorrow. Then as we go into the weekend, that's when we're talking that system coming in. It is going to be Saturday throughout the day, 2 to 6 inches possible. We'll talk more about that coming up here in a few minutes. Rob?
Okay, we'll see you then. Right now, friends and family of Tyre Nichols gathering to remember him. This is a live picture. Nichols died days after a confrontation with Memphis police, and today the 5 officers involved were charged with murder. They were booked into jail this afternoon. ABC's Faith Boubé reports.
Tonight, Memphis on edge as the investigation into 5 former police officers accused of violently beating Tyre Nichols, causing his death, takes a new turn. The Shelby County District Attorney addressing the community amid growing pressure to hold the former officers accountable.
The actions of all of them resulted in the death of Tyre Nichols, and they are all responsible.
All 5 officers booked into jail, each charged with second-degree murder, among other charges. This graphic photo showing Nichols in his hospital bed, bruised and battered after the January 7th traffic stop. He died just 3 days later. A family attorney claims police body cam footage shows the officers beat Nichols nonstop for 3 minutes, kicked him, pepper sprayed him, and tased him as he cried, "What did I do?"
Once the video started and I heard my son's voice, I lost it.
All 5 officers and the victim are African-American men. The officers were already fired before being charged. Memphis police say the body cam video will be released. Overnight, Police Chief C.J. Davis bracing the public for what that video shows.
This incident was heinous, reckless, and inhumane. And in the vein of transparency, when the video is released in the coming days, you will see this for yourselves.
Attorneys representing the officers reacting to the charges.
No one is guilty until a jury says they're guilty.
And law enforcement sources tell ABC News that Memphis city officials and police were expecting demonstrators to take to the streets once the video is released. Now, some of the police leaders themselves have privately compared the video to the 1991 brutal LAPD beating of Rodney King. They are now hoping that any protests in this case will remain peaceful. In Washington, Faith Boubé, ABC News.
Faith, thank you so much for that. Now, we have learned that the employee hurt in a school shooting in Iowa was from Chicago. Will Keeps was in a gang as a teenager, and he witnessed rival gang members killing his friend. Then he moved to Iowa. Keeps founded the Starts Right Here program. A shooting at the school this week killed 2 teenagers. Keeps was hospitalized after being shot. Police say the shooting was gang-related.
Earlier today, sheriffs from several counties around Illinois spoke about the assault weapons ban and why some law enforcement officers say they will not enforce it.
You know, am I going to write you a speeding ticket for doing 1 mile an hour over the speed limit? It's the difference between the spirit of the law and the letter of the law. You know, are we going to be able to get the safety results by doing something different than what the law states? Yes, we can.
In the past, Governor Pritzker has criticized sheriffs who refuse to enforce the law, accusing them of, quote, political grandstanding.
Well, the father of the suspected Highland Park Parade shooter was in court today. Robert Cremo Jr. is charged with reckless conduct. Prosecutors say he vouched for his son to get a firearm owner's ID card, even though the younger Cremo had reportedly threatened violence. Today, prosecutors said they are presenting evidence to a grand jury for a possible indictment. The hearing was continued until February 16th.
Tonight, police are looking for 3 people who stole a car with a child inside and crashed into a fence. Started around 8 this morning at this gas station near 66th and Wentworth. Man told us he left his vehicle running with his 6-year-old grandchild inside. Moments later, he says the thieves jumped in the car and took off.
I turned around and went outside and my car was gone. And I panicked. I ran back in and I had him call 911, so I spoke with the police. And they came right away. Less than 10 minutes, they say they found my grandson, and there was an accident in my car. So thank God that he's safe, he's all right.
This video shows the thieves crashing the car into a fence at 68th and Perry and running off. The child, fortunately, was physically unharmed.
Early voting is now underway for Chicago's mayoral election. The Clark and Lake Super Site and the site at 69 West Washington open today. Early voting sites in all 50 wards will open on February 13th. The election is February 28th. And right now, some of the candidates for mayor are participating in a forum in Garfield Park, and a new poll out tonight shows just how tight this race is. Now, in the Victory Research poll, Paul Vallis and Mayor Lightfoot each earning the support of more than 19% of those surveyed. Congressman Jesus Chuy Garcia comes in third at 16.6%. Cook County Commissioner Brandon Johnson and businessman Willie Wilson are the only others with double-digit support. Political reporter Craig Wall tonight with more on the race.
As the race for mayor continues to take shape, the candidates squaring off in 2 separate forums today. Mayor Lori Lightfoot facing her 4 closest rivals in the first one. As she defended her record, she also focused her attacks on 2 candidates in particular.
80%.
This is
further ahead
with the moderators.
Thank you.
Who's moderating here?
Mayor Lori Lightfoot and Jesus Chuy Garcia sparring over police reform efforts during one point in the WCPT radio forum. And with all the candidates focused on crime as the top priority for the next mayor, Lightfoot accusing Garcia of not supporting police.
Congressman Garcia was the original defunder. In 2011, he started his time as Cook County Commissioner by slashing the sheriff's budget.
Garcia denied supporting the defund the police movement.
The way forward is implementation of the consent decree. The difference between my plan and the mayor's plan is that it recognizes that we need new leadership in the police department.
Lightfoot focusing even more attention on Paul Vallis, criticizing his relationship with the president of the FOP, which has endorsed Vallis.
The FOP invited all of us to seek their endorsement. You and Mr. Wilson, I believe, are the only 2 that said yes.
Vallis said Chicago is experiencing a crisis in leadership in the mayor's office and with the superintendent of the Chicago Police Department.
Brown needs to go, and Brown's leadership needs to go.
With Willie Wilson focusing repeated remarks on reducing crime and Brandon Johnson trying to cast a new vision for Chicago, Lightfoot most often focused her attacks on Vallis.
I listened to Mr. Vallis many times, and what I feel like is I'm listening to a version of Extreme Makeover, Paul Vallis edition.
You sat beside me in 40 forums when we were running together, and the things that I said then are the same things I'm saying now. You just haven't learned anything.
Okay, no more rebuttals.
The other 4 candidates for mayor, Cam Buckner, Sophia King, Jamal Green, and Roderick Sawyer, all took part in a separate forum, and there are a number of other forums scheduled in the coming weeks, with the election just over a month away. Back to you.
All right, Craig, thank you. And tonight we are learning more about the effort Mayor Lightfoot's campaign made to try and recruit CPS students in exchange for credit. Emails obtained by the ABC7i team come from the January 10th and 11th and were from a campaign aide and sent to several teachers and principals, asking them to alert the students that they could get involved in the campaign in exchange for class credit. Now, this afternoon of the 11th, a top advisor to CPS CEO Pedro Martinez emailed the Lightfoot aide that the district would not allow the recruitment to take place. That evening, the mayor's campaign released a statement defending the recruitment, calling it a common practice. But the next day, Mayor Lightfoot apologized for the emails, calling them a mistake. Both the CPS and city inspectors general are now investigating if there are any ethics violations in this matter.
National Archives wants former presidents and vice presidents to review their personal documents for any outstanding classified material. The archive sent a letter to the offices of the former leaders dating back to the Reagan administration. Comes after classified documents were found at the homes and offices of President Biden, former President Trump, and former Vice President Pence. The spokespeople for former Presidents Obama and George W. Bush say their classified records were submitted to the National Archives.
And tonight we've learned what is moving into the space that was once Chicago's Tavern on Rush. The Bellevue, located at Rush and Bellevue, will offer contemporary American cuisine, a curated wine list, and signature cocktails. These are renderings of the new restaurant, which is set to open in the spring. Tavern on Rush Street shut down after nearly 25 years as a Gold Coast staple. So many fun, great memories there. But now it's time to make
Time
some
for a new
there.
chapter.
Right, new
Yeah,
memories to
great
be
location.
made.
I bet they'll
Excellent.
do well.
Perfect in time for the weather changing too.
Making Chicago proud, 2 South suburban school districts working together to help a family who lost all their belongings in a fire.
Race and culture reporter Will Jones was in Richton Park when a member of the family got a big surprise.
For the last few weeks, Rich Township High School employee Romino Caradine Jackson has been showing up to work with a positive attitude, even with the weight of the world on her shoulders.
These people standing around me have given me strength every day to come in here and keep going.
She feels blessed just to be alive. Earlier this month, she and her family awoke to the sounds of smoke alarms. Their Park Forest home was on fire.
That was devastating, and it is devastating when you feel like you've lost everything, but at the end of the day, we still have life. We have a chance to rebuild.
She's getting some help from Rich Township High School and Matheson School District 162, where her grandchildren are students. The district's raising more than $10,000 to help the family get on their feet.
First, I just want to thank God for his many, many blessings.
The districts collected the money in just a 4-day period through a GoFundMe page and drop-off cash donations.
We are really working hard to establish what it means to be a true community, not just in education.
Some of the teachers said, okay, we know you get an allowance. How much are you willing to give to a family that has nothing? And you saw what happened.
After the surprise, Caradine Jackson struggled to find the right words to capture the depth of her gratitude for the outpouring of support from the community.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish it was a word bigger than that.
Moments later, she was back doing what brings her joy, serving others. Will Jones, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Look at that.
Incredible. We can learn a lot from kids sometimes.
I know, they teach us great things,
They
especially
do.
about generosity and gratitude. And she said she wished there was a bigger word.
Thank
Her
you's
heart
a
is
good
so
one.
full.
I mean,
it goes a long way.
And if those kids are watching, you did terrific.
Well done. Straight A's.
Yeah, and you're
all
role
day
models
long.
for us adults.
Yeah, it's a great civic
That's
lesson
awesome.
too to learn early
sure.
on. So pass it on, pass it forward. You know, reach back and pass it ahead.
Yeah,
so
nice
thanks
job.
for sharing that, Will Jones. You always have such great stories here.
sure.
This is the golden hour.
This
so
is a gold one.
yeah, we like to share those kind of stories, but we have more stories for you that are making Chicago proud.
All right.
Yeah, we are hearing from the first woman Commodore of the Chicago Yacht Club.
Look forward to that. And a great update on 3 new lion cubs.
Hey, baby.
Oh my gosh. At Lincoln Park Zoo. You can pet them now, right? I
Yeah,
don't know.
only now.
They get quite
They're
large.
so cute. All right, look at that.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Rob, you weren't around.
No, I was not.
But some of us were. So let's see who remembers this. Chicago's biggest snowstorm ever with an H. It happened 56 years ago today. It was 1967. The city got hit with 23 inches of snow, and I was there with my family.
Okay.
There we go. Right.
Which one is you?
You find out. Pick one.
Okay, hold on.
Pick one. Remember 1967. So do the math.
Yeah, you're not. I think you are on. You're either sitting in the red. No, you're either in the red or you're on the far left.
Okay.
I'm wrong, aren't I?
That is me on the far left with my favorite Kool-Aid, cherry Kool-Aid, my white boots. My sister Sherry is sitting there on the ground. My sister Shirley is in the middle, the one that comes by here all the time. That's Shirley in the middle. Michelle's the oldest, looking like, gosh, my sisters and brother. And my only brother is William there. My mom and dad were like going outside, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It was hard. My mom was a school teacher, so she tried to get there.
Yeah.
She got in rides, cabs, however she could get there.
Yeah,
and it was really tough. Yeah.
I remember a blizzard in the 70s when I was about your age, and we went out and built the coolest fort, and they didn't even check on you. Like, that thing could have collapsed on us, but you just go out there and play.
Right, and you just come in to eat.
Yes.
You know, get some hot chocolate, warm up a little bit, change your socks because they got wet, of course. You know,
if you were lucky.
I think my boots were plastic, but you know, it was free fun because it was snow and you could do anything with it. And when you got 5 siblings, you build forts, you build snowmen, you have snowball fights.
Yeah, you do all sorts
everything.
of stuff. Guy, you were laughing too, our floor director, so you were around at the time, I'm guessing.
I was.
What were you doing?
A little bit.
You remember?
I remember we lived across from the school and I could see it all covering the school.
You saw this. He was across from a school, and you could just. I mean, it was that high. It was like 5 feet.
Do you guys remember that it started at 5 in the morning?
See, is that what time? Well, great. So by the time we woke up, High Soul,
5 in the morning.
It was playtime.
Oh, you got
like,
and then it ended.
See, look at
so
that.
it started the 26th.
Okay.
At 5 a.m. ended the 27th at 10 a.m. So that was probably when you were out.
Wow.
You
so
had
that
all
was
of it.
like, I mean, yeah, because it
More than
had
24
stopped,
hours.
I guess.
More than 24 hours.
Right.
Look at that.
So it's
That's
like
a lot
29
of
hours,
snow
almost
in
30.
a very short amount
and
of time.
53 mile per hour winds.
And the snow drifts 4 to 6. It was way different back then, right? Snow plows and I mean, what did you guys do?
You know, the CTA bus was trying. We lived on a very busy street, a big street.
I mean,
we used our
now
feet.
the plows can keep up with that, but
like,
back then,
yeah, we had like rubber sleighs, you know, that you might have gotten
remember
for Christmas.
Yeah, did you ever hear of skitching? You grab the back of a car.
Right, yeah, people did that, and you shouldn't have done that.
No, I know, I'm sorry.
I do remember my mom really hitching rides with people to get one block to the next block, 5 blocks in different cars to get to school.
To get to where, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, were you, when you were in Boston, were you there for any of those huge blizzards?
I was. We actually just had one last year that was pretty big. I was outside reporting for about 15 hours.
15 hours.
Yeah. At one point, I think we were getting 2 to 3 inches per hour, so it was just pouring snow.
A lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was pretty awesome.
Was it fun? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. See, she said it's pretty awesome. See.
I absolutely love being out in the field. Sometimes people see me and they're like, "Oh, get that poor girl inside." And I'm like, "No, I want to stay out there. I love enjoying it, like really taking it in and seeing the science happen right in front of me."
Did your dog Travis go outside and play with you too?
Oh, yeah. And then you know how they put all of the snow from the parking lots all in one area?
Yes.
So behind my apartment complex, they had this huge parking lot. So he was just like going through the mountains of just
loving it. Well, we're sooner or later we're going to have one of these things.
Right. We've got to welcome High Soul properly.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it.
It's like a snow globe.
Blizzards.
Yes.
I love it.
She was outside yesterday though in the snow.
And that looked a little raw. It did not look ideal out there.
Right on the lakefront. So
there.
it was a little windy there.
So we're looking at some snow this weekend. Nothing like 67, but we might get a good amount of snow.
Yeah, we might get a good amount of snow. And it's mainly from a system that kind of just stalls, so kind of hangs out just to our south. And yes, we are expecting some accumulation with that. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Temperatures right now in the teens and 20s out there. It is feeling cold, and this is the coldest temperature we have recorded at O'Hare the entire entire month of January, yeah, 20 degrees. It has been such a mild January. Right now, wind anywhere from about 10 to 15 miles per hour out there, and that's making it feel more like the single digits outside. It's 14 degrees for tonight for our outlying areas, the city closer to 17. Here is a look at radar and satellite right now to show you that we just have some flakes around right now. We'll continue that for the next about hour or so, and then we are done with that for tonight. Then by tomorrow morning, the snow showers come back into the area. So these snow showers are expected to come in 7, 8 in the morning. So right as the commute is happening, there could be some isolated slick spots. Any untreated surfaces will be slick. Keep that in mind. Keep it in your head to keep it slow here as we go through tomorrow's commute. That cold front clears us tomorrow, and then on Saturday, here's that next system coming in. So that's what I meant about this cold front kind of just stalling to our south. And then behind that, that's where we have the area of snow that sets up on Saturday, and through most of the day on Saturday and Saturday night, we will be seeing some light snow across the area, but it's because we're seeing it for about 12 hours, at times maybe 18 hours. That's why we'll see some accumulation. So here's a look. Tomorrow morning, temperatures start off in the teens to about 20. Then as we go into the second half of the morning, we'll have the snow showers around. Again, it is possible that these snow showers come in a little bit earlier, so for the commute, and then into the evening hours, if you have some Friday evening plans, maybe going out to Friday night dinner, it's just going to be cold with temperatures dropping down into the 20s, eventually into the teens Saturday morning. So it's going to be cold enough for this to be just snow. Some of these systems this month have transitioned into rain or mainly been rain. Not going to be the case. You've noticed that we've changed that pattern with the snow that we've been seeing lately. Here's a look at lunchtime on Saturday. This is where we need to pay attention when we start to see maybe some accumulating snow in the area. That light snow continues, could be a little bit heavy at times as we get closer to Saturday dinner time. So this is what I mean. Stay inside, turn the fireplace on, have dinner at home. Then continuing the clock to show you that this winds down as we head into the morning hours on Sunday. So we are expecting a swath of area that we're going to get anywhere from about 2 to 5. And yes, there could be some areas that get isolated 6. And that's kind of depending on where this lands, because notice here, this could slowly just dip down a little bit further south or even a little bit further north. So we will keep an eye on that here in the next 24 hours. So for the day tomorrow, it's windy. We have some scattered snow showers, and we do have that chance to have about a coating to an inch once again through the day tomorrow. Saturday into very early Sunday morning, that's when the snow develops late in the morning, and then it continues into the evening and at night. 2 to 4 inches, a big area, I think, and then isolated 5 to 6. That's what it's looking like right now, but that might change up here. So here's a look. Saturday, there's that chance for snow. Sunday, we have that light snow in the morning, and then it gets cold Monday and Tuesday. And yeah, Cheryl, that is not a typo there on Monday.
Yeah, can you move a little bit to your right? A little,
cover
yeah,
that
cover
up,
the,
yeah. Bright, and right, that's perfect right there.
These days aren't happening.
Right, no, that's right.
We don't want to see it until we have to do it. That was a great, that was such a good move.
Already.
Okay, we got to get a name for that scoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
The sun, though, is coming out at the one time that we're in the single digits.
All right.
That's how it goes.
Right.
Dry air.
Okay. That's a trade-off. So what would you rather have then?
I like
what
the
would you
sun.
rather?
Yeah,
let's
sun.
play what you rather.
I'll take the sun.
Okay.
I'll take the sun.
Right.
Yeah, all right. We
It
like
is
sun
February,
because your name is High Soul. All right, so we like the sun, right?
Yeah, we do.
All right, thanks so much for that. Well, Lisa Curcio Gaston is making us Chicago proud tonight. She is the Chicago Yacht Club's first woman Commodore in 148 years. Gaston says she didn't take up sailing till later on in life, and she encourages girls of all ages to get involved in boating.
There's nothing about boating that requires strength. It requires thinking and doing, and our young women today can do all of those things and more.
Absolutely. You want to repeat that again?
Yeah,
Commodore
right.
Lisa, she is a retired Cook County judge. Okay, yeah, that too. And now she spends her summers, of course, on Lake Michigan. And this is, I always say it gets greater later.
Yeah.
So this is really a strong example of that.
148
years to be a Commodore. And did you know that's what they call them?
I did know that, yeah, and congratulations to her.
Oh, what a great inspiration for all of
and
us.
well said, like you mentioned.
Can we hang out with you? Because she said she wants
boat.
everybody
Yeah,
right
let's
for
go.
the summer, right? Dreaming of summer.
Right, especially after the forecast. This next story picked specifically by Michelle Corliss, our producer.
Yes.
And I think you're going to want to see it and know why. It's an adorable update. It's the Lincoln Park Zoo. 3 lion cubs there have now opened their eyes to the world, right? You almost hear the yawn, right? Cubs were born on January 9th. They and their mother are behind the scenes right now. Will stay there for several weeks as the cubs grow. Next month, the cubs have their first veterinary exam, and we'll learn if they're boys or girls. And so there's Mama's big.
They open
Is that
their
Mama?
eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, is she chewing with the baby?
I don't know what they do. Probably moves them, and yeah, they get big. Look how
I know. Don't you wish they could stay that little and cute?
Yeah, I mean, they're tiny compared to her.
Yeah, and she is protective of her
right,
babies.
right. Protect them.
Oh,
beautiful animals.
We should collectively go do it together.
Right. Beautiful.
So cute. I know. even from Monica, our director, because she's got a little baby coming on the way.
She got a cub
coming.
March.
Yeah, our family's going to grow in this new year here on the Hour of Power.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we got to celebrate
photos
that
as soon
too.
as it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Her name's going to be Cheryl. Yeah.
That's news to Monica.
I know, right? And her husband,
right. Now you know.
All right. Well, the New York Times best-selling book, The 1619 Project, is now a docuseries looking at race in America. Coming up next, hear from the journalist behind the scenes.
Today, a new docuseries debuts on Hulu.
It is called The 1619 Project, and the docuseries takes a look at the consequences of slavery and the contributions of Black Americans.
On the red carpet, Storyteller Spotlight shines a light on the Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist behind the 1619 Project, Nicole Hannah-Jones.
You know, I talk about, in the preface of the book, The 1619 Project, being a young Black girl growing up in a very white state and desperately searching for myself in the American story, wanting to know that I had relevance, that our people had contributed something to this nation, and not finding that. And so you feel a disconnect from your own country when you never see yourself reflected in the stories of your country. And the 1619 Project hopes to fill in some of those holes. But I also want people to see that Black Americans have never had a fair chance of enjoying all of the bounty of the country that they built, that so many of the inequalities that we see today in this country stem from slavery and its legacy, and that all Americans suffer for it, that the form of American capitalism where so many workers, no matter their race, struggle to make ends meet, struggle to have work that is respecting them. If we had a better understanding of why our society looks like it does, why do Black Americans suffer as a people in the way that they do? If they have that understanding, then they will support policies and actions that will work to alleviate that harm. But you can educate children from an early age into the truth about our society. Then you empower those children to go out and create the society that we all wish for.
It is very powerful.
I remember talking to you about the podcast came out, I think it was before the pandemic.
From the original article that was written in the New Yorker.
Right, and she was also doing that, I believe, but that started to gain some popularity and was incredible.
Right.
I learned so much.
I had an opportunity to interview her back in October, and she talked about the value of the 1619 Project and what she wanted people to learn from it. And I asked her about her biggest takeaway and her hope for this project. She said she wanted the world to know that African Americans were resilient people and they were patriotic. She talked about her father, who no matter where they lived in the United States, he would always put a flag out in the front yard to let it fly, because he believed he was so American in an America that didn't love him back. But he wanted to remind himself.
Incredible pride. And I remember one about the sharecroppers down in the South, and then the music, the one that was just the birth of music through slaves in this country.
The drum, the origin of the drum.
Everything. The beats that we still listen to today, and creation of blues, and what led to rock, and the deep connection.
Right, everything is rooted
from
the drum back in Africa.
Yeah, and the music was just incredible. It was wonderful. It was wonderful, and it spawned what we have today. This looks awesome.
It really is, and she's
an
incredible storyteller, and she really just wants people to know that African Americans are Americans. We are part of the American story, and we are resilient. So, and there's so much more to it.
And we can still learn so much. Yeah,
right, and
so
you can learn so much about it from Nicole Hannah-Jones at abc7chicago.com, of course.
Yeah, 1619 Project, streaming only on Hulu. Check it out if you can. We'll be right back. Are we dancing? Oh, this is
because Jimmy Kimmel is celebrating 20 years of Jimmy Kimmel Live.
He was much younger 20 years ago.
I know, we all were.
Right, this is true.
I got receipts.
Right, he's reflecting on 2 decades of the late night show.
I've always been this person. I'm glad people know who I am now. For me, the gift is caring. You know, it's caring about your job. A lot of people don't. Occasionally, people pop up at our show who don't, and they don't last very long because we all care very much about the show and about each other.
There's a primetime special planned tonight featuring guests from Jimmy's first episode. You know who they were?
I do.
Snoop Dogg.
Yep, Snoop Dogg, George Clooney. And then Coldplay.
Coldplay,
right? Okay.
Yes. Jimmy
I've been a
says,
fan.
Not to expect any big surprises. Come on.
Come
on.
Sure.
So you can watch that primetime special tonight at 9 on ABC7. Then you stay tuned for Eyewitness News with us.
Yeah, your cousins are going to be on that
At
special,
10.
the Kardashians.
Oh,
He's going to go back and,
really?
yeah, they're going to be on there.
Cousins. When did they become my cousins?
Yeah,
I was telling you earlier, he had Eddie Murphy on last night, and that was really
he
cool.
talked about
to
his
hear.
dinner with
Yes.
Michael Jackson.
He did.
And Bubbles.
And then, Bubbles, and then being stuck with Rick James in his Buffalo house for 2 weeks.
Right.
It was really good
I know,
stuff.
it's going to be great tonight. I had a chance to meet him twice. When he came to the studio 20 years ago, he was promoting. This is at the American Music Award.
I saw this on your Instagram.
Yes.
This is why I was talking about everybody's younger. Although you look
this
the
was
same.
in the studio. He came to promote his show.
Yeah.
I used to be a fan when he was on NFL Like Today, way back when. Do you remember when this show started? They had liquor. They served liquor at the beginning.
Really?
Yeah, when
And
the show started 20 years ago.
Very few people thought he was going to do well.
Right, but he's so funny and creative. His writers are extraordinarily talented.
They've done
he's
really
so
well.
talented. He's got a Northwestern connection.
Really?
You know, I mean, you talked about he doesn't look the same age. Well, he's
his-
been married. He's had kids.
The picture with you,
know.
that first one, he lost a lot of weight over time. He
Yeah.
takes much better care of himself.
Yep,
and
he said that he did that.
Yeah.
Well, that was that picture I got with Jimmy Kimmel was I went to Los Angeles to do my story on Kanye West. I had spent 3 nights with Kanye
And
West.
Kanye was on that show?
Right, he had been nominated for 10 awards. That was the same one Anna Nicole Smith was on that show as well, and Jimmy Kimmel was there. We were backstage together, and because I had been a fan, I asked him for a picture. Jamie Foxx was right next to me. I got a picture with him too. Right, you know, so I talked about receipts. She showed me receipts with her Snoop Dogg event.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
he
did
was
send me
spinning
video,
records, doing some house music.
Yeah.
Y'all know a lot of famous people.
Yeah, well, we
don't
take
know
pictures
anybody.
with famous
That
people.
still counts. Jimmy needs to do a shout out on this show.
I know he does.
Right, our 1 year anniversary was just recently.
Right, I gotta call some people.
Right. I honestly think you probably could make a few calls and we'd get Jimmy on the show. So
Yeah.
check that special out. It
Yes,
is
prime
tonight
time,
on
baby.
ABC 7, and then
Right.
we'll bring you the news after
Right
that
at 10, and then he's going to be doing the Oscars. He's hosting the Oscars, so it's all about his
Busy.
season right now.
Busy for Kimmel. Yeah.
Let's talk about somebody local.
Yes.
Who's going to be at the Grammys?
How about it?
A local teacher nominated again.
And coming up next, how he inspires his students far beyond the world of music. First, let's check in with Snoop Dogg's buddy, high school.
Oh man, I don't know people like Cheryl does, but I didn't
Got
take
time.
a picture with Snoop Dogg. I just saw him performing.
And she's got receipts.
Yeah, I do. Tomorrow we'll have some snow showers around, but it's only going to amount to what we saw today, maybe a coating to an inch. Then we're talking a bigger event Saturday. We'll talk more about that 2 to 6 here coming up just after the break.
We're Chicago proud of Tyre Nichols, one of the 10 finalists from across the nation for the Music Educator Grammy Award.
He is teaching students at Senn High School in Edgewater how music can help them heal from the pressures and suffering in their young lives. Nicholas tells Jose that his students are already his priceless honor.
Tyre Nichols believes music can galvanize the human spirit. his students are being transformed.
We've been sold a dream that exists somewhere between and over the rainbow reality, but we can't afford to get off the block, let alone see the light.
Nicholas is from the Minnesota Northwoods. That's far from the harsh urban struggles that challenge so many of these kids.
I hope that this place feels like a really healthy home to you.
How does it feel when it clicks with a student? Can you tell?
It's surreal. It's beyond my wildest dreams just to be at this point. And the whole purpose of this is for all of the students to be uplifted, for their artistry and beauty to be amplified.
Trevor used a wheelchair as a child, the result of a condition he was able to overcome. His music redeemed him, body and soul.
I just had a lot of doors that were shut, and I had one that was very open. And at the start, it was very lonely. I would connect with the music. I would ebb and flow with the music. And afterwards, I would feel a sense of peace, a sense of wholeness.
They say there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but I say the light is within us.
Students coping with emotional wounds have the comfort and connection of music they create.
Music is more than just listening. It's about feeling, it's about connecting, and he really made sure that we all did that.
I was just pushed to my creative limits and emotional limits every day in just the most positive, compassionate way.
I think just having someone in my life like him has definitely made my passion for music grow.
I am healed. I am supportive. I am light.
I want them to feel like they can do anything, because I never dreamed that I'd be nominated for a Grammy once or twice. You're a part of something that I think is really big and really powerful, and it really means the world to me to have your brilliance here in this mission together. This is a we thing. This whole Grammy journey, wherever it goes, wherever it's gone, we've done this together.
Jose Sanders, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Therapy for music is everything.
Yeah, music is very therapeutic for sure.
Yeah.
Like you talk about listening to it, going home every night.
It's nice to clear your mind. I mean, but they're performing it, writing
creating
it,
it.
Yes.
I mean, and the fact that, like Jose said, body and soul, the music did that for him.
And he shares that with his a connection, as he mentioned, to probably a lot of kids, adults.
You can relate.
Yes.
Right. If you can relate to them through anything, that's the best way to go. And music, of course, I love the picture of him standing on the pillow at the piano when he was a little bitty.
Boy.
Dreams do come true. This is actually, though, the second time that Nicholas has earned a music educator Grammy nomination.
Two.
So
he's gonna get it.
We're claiming it, we're manifesting it, we're putting it in the atmosphere. We'll be back to talk about the winner.
So the winner's announced next week, and those kids ready for their teacher to get the trophy. Of course, we'll keep an eye on it. Like you said, we'll tell you as soon as it happens.
Well, he's a winner to us.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I know people say it's just nice to be nominated.
I was going to say just a nomination
I mean,
is something
who else
special.
do you know was nominated for a Grammy? Like, I mean, I know we sing really well here on the 7,
That's
but
not
we've
Grammy
never
worthy.
been.
Yeah. It's definitely
What's
not.
the Razzies to the Grammys?
Right.
That's what we are.
Top candidates.
Right. The Grazzies, the Gramsies, the Gramsies. Right. That would be us. We are the
Nominate
winners.
ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a shelf full. All right. Well, Shakira's Super Bowl looks. Oh yeah, they're going on display. Okay, are you ready? Oh, I want to talk about her revenge songs. That's what I want to talk about. But we'll talk about her outfits from the Super Bowl. Yeah, on the other side of the break.
You know, when the meteorologist comes over to sit,
I know, right?
We got things to talk about.
That's right.
Yeah, her first day here, she said she loved music, remember?
Oh, good.
She liked,
we got some music theme stuff here.
EDE music? What was
EDM.
it? EDM, yeah.
I like house music.
Right, house music.
I'm from Texas, so I like country.
Yeah.
See?
I like everything.
So Taylor Swift is a little country, not so much, not yet.
Sometimes,
at least.
didn't she
could
do the
some
country song?
house.
The country
So she was a
album?
country
Yeah,
star,
right.
yeah. So Meet Me at Midnight is trending today.
All right, you know how it goes?
No.
Okay. Well, it's because Taylor Swift will release her new music video tonight. Take a look, everybody.
Here we go.
Okay.
Who are we meeting? Oh, that's it, but that's all we get to see.
I like that. Is it coming out at midnight?
Yeah, so the rest of the Lavender Haze
Okay.
video comes out in a few hours.
Ooh.
Michelle, is it midnight or we just got a couple hours? We think it's midnight
Now,
Eastern.
You guys know what Lavender Haze means, right?
Oh, should I?
Okay, all right.
We're not in the know.
This
but
is the
Cheryl-
family hour, so we'll.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, now I want to know.
It's really.
Are you a Swiftie fan?
I'm not a Swiftie.
No.
I'm
Okay.
not.
Yeah.
I like her music
Yeah.
and I listen to it, but I'm not like some people are, and I get it. I get the hype.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
She's very talented.
She's very talented. She's a
and
very good
excellent writer.
songwriter.
Yeah.
Songwriter, and I think a decent role model. Like, she hasn't done any horrible things, and a lot of people look up to her.
Yeah.
I love her journey.
But although
story,
now I
too.
got to look up what she's singing
Yeah,
after
Lavender
this
Haze,
video. It's
yeah.
not going to be.
That's- yeah.
I have ideas, but this is
All
a family
right.
show.
It's a good thing.
Well, no, wait.
It's
Okay.
a good thing. All right, the two outfits Shakira wore during her 2020 Super Bowl halftime performance. You saw her with J-Lo, of course. The new Shakira. The Grammy Museum Experience will open on March 4th in Los Angeles. It also includes on display Shakira's handwritten lyrics and her crystallized electric guitar. The exhibit will explore Shakira's musical evolution. I am all in for that because the hips do not lie.
Love this.
Yeah, you seem to know some things about Shakira. You're a fan.
I am a fan.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
I'm a J-Lo fan. I'm a Shakira fan.
Okay.
Two Latinas.
Yes.
At the Super Bowl. You better believe I was.
That was a
just
big
like-
deal. Yeah, I mean, that
was
show
historic.
was awesome, by
Yeah.
the way.
I often replay that, just like on YouTube, just over and over.
Gotta
and over.
check
Try to
this out then.
memorize the dance routines, right? And you're like a backup dancer.
No, I don't do all that. I don't do
So during the quick break, you two were talking about this new. Is it a new song of hers?
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's throwing shade at.
She has a couple of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're really good.
They're really good. The lyrics are in Spanish.
Yes.
And the dialect is a little bit different because I had a little bit of trouble understanding it, and so I looked up the
translation.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, she's really.
Now she's shading her ex.
Really.
Right, because they're going through it.
They're going through a divorce.
Right. They have three sons, right? Two sons,
think
or
so.
three?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's the former or the soccer player.
Yeah.
She just was like no filter.
Yeah, it's
And wrote a song
any
about
translation, it's shade.
Oh, so I'm looking at you traded a Rolex for a
Yeah.
Casio is one of the lyrics. So that's a big
We
trade.
haven't talked about the jam in the
Trading
refrigerator
down.
too. Maybe one day we'll get to that story because that's the jam is also part of one of her new videos.
Okay.
The jam that she said she went to the refrigerator to get the truth.
Oh, all right.
You didn't hear the story about the jam?
No.
No.
Okay.
You are full of knowledge.
No, this is a good
She knows
story. Do we have time, Michelle? I can make it real quick. I can do the Cliff Notes version. 30 seconds. Okay. So, they were going through little rough times.
Okay.
She went on a business trip to perform out of town. When she came back, the jam in the refrigerator was all gone for the most part. Only a little bit left. Well, no one in her house eats jam but her. So she knew someone had
I
been
would have
in her
noticed
house.
something like that,
She
too.
noticed it. Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
And so that's when she knew there was a problem in the relationship because
Wow.
the jam was almost gone. So she has written a
She knows some.
She
yeah,
knew
I
something
go
was
to the
up.
refrigerator for the truth.
You did that in exactly 30
Thank
seconds,
you.
by the way.
Okay.
That was impressive. No idea. I can't wait for you to be on the show with us for these segments because I'm learning stuff. Yeah, and
Yes.
so it's going to be great. One last look at weather with you, Heisel.
Yeah.
City looks nice.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
Right?
Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, it's
Junior?
almost Friday.
Friday, Junior.
Friday.
Yeah, temperatures right now are pretty cold out there. And officially, hey guys, 19 degrees. That's the first teen recorded so far in 2023. And in January at O'Hare, it is the coldest temperature that O'Hare has recorded here the entire month. Midway now dropping to 19 as well. Geneva at 17. Munster at 19 degrees. It is cold out there, and really it's the wind right now between about 10 and 20 miles per hour that is making it feel more like the single digits. Take a look at these wind chills. This is what it feels like when you step outside right now. So if you still have some errands to run this evening, maybe have to take the dog out one more time, single digits is what it's feeling like right now. We have a few flakes flying right now, and that's it. We slowly get rid of the flakes for most of the night. Then by tomorrow morning, we have the snow showers once again. Scattered snow showers through tomorrow could lead to a coating to an inch, and we could have slick spots for the morning commute and the afternoon commute. Just take it slow. Any untreated surfaces will be slick. Here's that cold front. It kind of stalls just to our south, and that means that we have some snow around most of the day on Saturday. This could lead to anywhere from 2 to 6 inches of snow. So here's a timeline. First, let's start with Friday. 6 in the morning. It's cold out there, temperatures in the teens. We have those snow showers around, a coating to an inch possible. But notice here, Friday evening, yes, any untreated surfaces will be slick, but by 6 p.m. dinner time on Friday, I think we'll be okay. No more snow falling, and we'll have temperatures into the 20s. Then on Saturday, here we go. 8 in the morning. Notice we'll have a few flakes maybe right around 8 in the morning. Then by lunchtime, we'll have that light snow that develops. Could become heavy as we get closer to dinner time. Saturday, dinner plans. Maybe just keep them at your house and inside, because we will have the snow falling at dinner time, continuing into the evening, and then winding down by Sunday morning. Sunday morning, we're just left over with some flakes flying. How much snow are we expecting? We could get anywhere from 2 to 6, depending on where we get some of the heaviest banding here. You can see anywhere from about 2 to 5, but again, there could be some isolated 6 as we go through the day on Saturday and in through Sunday morning. Tomorrow, it's windy. We have those scattered snow showers. Again, just a coating to an inch. It's also going to be windy tomorrow. You'll definitely feel the wind out there. It's going to feel cold. Saturday into Sunday, this is what we need to watch. Snow developing late in the morning, continuing into the evening. I think a wide area of 2 to 4, and then there could be those isolated 5 to 6. That's what it's looking like right now. Here's a look at your 7-day. As we go through Saturday, we have that chance for some snow. And then Sunday, Monday, it's going to be cold as we start off the week. Highs only in the teens. Keep it right here. We'll be right back.
Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. For Hi Sol Martinez, I'm Cheryl Burton.
I'm Rob Belgas. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back on the air Saturday morning, right?
I'll be back sometime next week.
Okay.
All right.
Look for it.
Good thing. We'll see you at 10.